70% of that work max. For those of us that don't have a working max, we're going to use RPE, relative perceived exertion, on a scale of 1 to 10. So 10 being I can do this one time and I feel good with a cue, 1 being I can do this all day until coach both says I'm tired, 1 you at a 7. Make sense? Awesome. I will work with you on the deadlifts. Everybody else grab a spot on the floor, platforms, and grab a barbell, guys, and we'll start chipping away. I'm Al Bose. I'm the co-owner and head coach over at Hybrid Theory Athletics and Missing Link Crossfit. We started off as Hybrid Theory Athletics back in our garage at Sneads Ferry, kind of blending together powerlifting, a little bit of CrossFit modals, and we eventually evolved into Missing Link CrossFit, where we're at today. Well, I served 10 years in the military and I started coaching athletes in the Marine Corps, just helping on physical performance tests, just a little bit of body composition, and then eventually moving towards more sport-specific athletes. And my business partner, Casey, he was big into CrossFit. We were in Southern California when we first got together. We eventually got orders over here to 302 and kind of formed a little garage barbell club. And from there, we saw that our clientele, our athletes, enjoyed our programming and our methodology. And we just kind of went from 4 to exponentially to 10 to 12. And then we kind of pulled the trigger, moved from the garage, got our first building, and started putting some racks and rigs in. And now we have a little bit more than 60 athletes.
My name's Casey Hagstrom. I joined the Marine Corps just barely getting out of high school back in 2006. Spent about 8 years as a crew chief. Bounced around a little bit on the West Coast. Ultimately made it out here on the East Coast. Kind of throughout that time is when I started getting interested in fitness, and pretty much since then it's kind of been more off than on, at least recently, but I've been in kind of the community, I guess, starting in the Marine Corps realistically. And then this place came to be when I was traveling cross country out here, moving from San Diego out here to North Carolina. Had a wild hair at my ass to start a CrossFit gym because it seemed like a lucrative thing to do, and teaching was something that I was already good at, or at least already taught to do well. So it seemed like a good idea. On the way out here, I met up with Al, who I'd been working with for the previous few years, and it turned out that he was looking to start a gym too. So it just so happened that with our forces combined, we ended up opening up Missing Link. In the beginning, we started in my garage out in Sneads Ferry, actually. We had probably anywhere from like maybe 3 to 7 or 8 people in any given class, and ran that for about 6 months. And then on a whole bunch of promises from a bunch of other people, we opened up this place. Nobody came through, so our doors were pretty empty for the first little bit. But as we've been here, we've kind of been able to make a better name for ourselves, and people are, I guess, either starting to see our marketing and seeing the stuff they're putting up on Facebook, or just seeing the results and stuff we've been getting from other athletes. Like, never once have we had anybody hurt themselves or do anything weird outside of getting new PRs and just generally getting stronger. Like, bumps and bruises to be pretty normal, but I don't think anybody's really said anything super bad about us.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I have been training here at Missing Link for almost a year. Prior to that, I trained at a couple of different commercial gyms for about a year and a half before finding my way to Missing Link. I have just been here as a mom trying to better herself, and have started to take steps towards becoming more of a competitive athlete. I just registered for my first powerlifting meet, which will happen in September. You come in here and you feel like you are just as good as everyone else. And I think that's from the coaches down. So, you know, the coaches treat all of us the same. They have the same expectations for all of us. And we all deeply care about one another.
Come on. Tight. Wide, steady. That's high. Chest. Up. We train all type of athletes, primarily focused on CrossFit structured class, but we run a very similar linear periodization for powerlifting. We hit all the big lifts, press, pull, squat, dead on a regular basis. And we've worked with athletes, handicapped, wounded warriors, from high school students all the way up to world qualifying powerlifting and NFL athletes.
I'm Leonard Jones. I'm a powerlifter, 145-pound weight class. I train here at Missing Link. I've been training here for about a year now. Like, I've been training in powerlifting for about 2 years. Overall lifting, a little over 2 years. I was at a tournament last year and I was competing. It was a local tournament I was competing in. Al saw me lifting and he walked up to me afterwards and he said, there's a lot, like, you're a good lifter, but there's a lot. I can bring you to another level. There's a lot of things that you need to work on technique-wise, and I can make you to another level, and I've been training ever since. It's an awesome environment. He's very, how do I say, like, he studies this shit. Like, he studies this and he's like really into lifting. This is his passion, and coaching is his passion. What I do in the Marine Corps, I'm at 3051. I work in a warehouse. I've been in the Marine Corps for about upcoming on 3 years, and as far as training, like my powerlifting, how has it transferred over? All I would say is the mental aspect. Like, when we're doing stuff that I really don't want to be doing, it's just that mental portion of it just kicks in to say, hey, keep going. What I would say to anybody thinking about training here is that if you wanted to take your athletic career to the next level, this is the place to do it. They've got coaches for every aspect: football, CrossFit, Olympic lifting, powerlifting, whatever you're trying to get into. They got people who are very knowledgeable over here.
Like, I have the intention of teaching everything I know to whoever I can. Like, even if it's just somebody that's coming off the street, at least try and give them everything that I possibly can to not only make sure they're safe, but for them to be able to understand why it is they're doing what they're doing. Because I know for me, when I'm learning things, like, it doesn't really do me any good just to be told, like, this is what you need to do and this is why. Or this is what you need to do and, like, just do it because I said. Like, if I don't know why or how or why it works that way, then, like, I'm not really a blind sheep kind of dude, and, like, I'm not just gonna follow along. So I kind of expect the same of other people. Like, if they understand why I'm telling them to do whatever it is, it'll be kind of easier for them to chew.
Well, the community is one of the major elements that I wanted to not steal but take away from CrossFit. Just having athletes rebound and feed off of each other's energy. CrossFit is one of the very few sports where the person who finishes last is the person who's usually getting the cheers the most. So that's what I wanted. I wanted everybody to be focused on moving heavy weight, but also kind of make sure the team gets stronger. Because if the guy left of me and right of me are both getting stronger, that's going to make me hungry to get stronger.
The coaches are incredible. There are not enough things that I could say to adequately represent what they give to each and every one of their athletes. They invest their time in all of us, from their competitive athletes that have taken a national stage all the way down to just a mom who wants to be better. I think it's a rare thing to find a coach who gives so much to their athletes that their athletes want to be better. They want to be better for their coaches. They want to perform for their coaches, and they don't want to let their coaches down. I think that's a rare find, and I think that speaks to the caliber of coaching that we have here.
For the most part, for me, what Missing Link means to me is it's a place where I can release, and it's very, how do I say, just everybody around you is very encouraging in what everybody else is doing. Everybody knows what everybody is focused on, like whatever sports they're focused on, and everybody's very encouraging in that. It's a great environment to lift in.
They can reach us on www.missinglinkcrossfit.com. They can shoot us an email at info@hybridtheoryathletics.com, and you can also catch us on Facebook at Missing Link CrossFit.